can talk about sleazeball, sleazebag, as long as we're talking about a sleazebag for to have a third term as president. But we could not ever, possibly ever in 100 years, ever talk about a guy who, right now, if George Bush had a third term, oh my God forbid you even mention that. I mean, sequester your freedom of speech, sequester your rights. Sir, you have no right to talk about George Bush, not in a positive way. You have to talk about George Bush negatively. You have to talk just jump about George Bush. So I'm saying if George Bush had a third term and then now it'd be a fourth term as president, would there have been refugees, or would the mission in Iraq be closer to be summing up to where our troops could honestly leave? We weren't supposed to have any leave there, of course. You know, it's going to be like maybe what we had in the DMZ, where we had people that were there that were reinforcements or whatever, and that's our right and privilege or whatever if you want to call it, for being there and being on their side and needing to protect them the best that we can against people that were well prepared for this coming out of Vietnam. Vietnam might have been talking more about that, but what people like um, the Clintons would have done, being anti-American, rallying against the Vietnam War like that, and to um, be able to point that out to show the difference, tell the difference to people between the Clintons and other people that protested the war. There was people that were anti-war and they were led along like sheep, like the people are who vote for Democrats, who vote Democrats still. They are a sheep. If you really think that your Democrat congressman, senator, or president is for your rights, um, let's make up a petition for you to sign to give your own individual rights and freedoms away. Unless you go and get convicted or go and get in trouble by the authorities, then you're safe from losing your rights. But I'll give you the right to start the wave, so to speak, where you can start the trend and go ahead and be that role model and example for people who should have their guns taken away from them. You start first, and everybody else um, is. I think that they're responsible with firearms and don't really need to be put through the ringer because there's obviously a lot of stupidity going on in the country right now. The country may be on a depression caused purposely by the government, when the government also speaking in favor for Bush. Bush politics, whether people want to believe it or not, was getting us out of trouble from the housing market bubble, the market collapse, from the market collapsing. So you want to blame that on the government? Well, the recession was almost over in 2009, and now what you would see now is all on purpose from socialist programs and free stuff that people want to act like it's their American God-given right or whatever. That's one of their freedoms, is to get free shit from the man. You know what I mean? So they take full advantage of that. While in the meantime, somebody's getting paid for that, or something's going on there, and check goes out, and people aren't made to be responsible, and they're not less poor. They're not, let's say, more responsible. They are more poor than ever before, and they're miserable. So there's going to be a misery there instead of combating it, where you can combat jerks and idiots and boobs and complete people who are benign, like Obama, in my opinion, it's my own personal opinion and thought of the guy, is that he hates America. Obviously, with his presidency, it only reflects a truly out to get even with America kind of a SOB. That's who he is. So even with that, I just you know how much of this is going on that's not on purpose and propaganda. I have to go back and kind of pay attention to what I was saying there. But anyways, I'm gonna get on with this. So I hope not just Democrat people hear that, but also Trump. This is a video for him or whatever. Him to also hear that if he wants to be negative on Bush in particular. Me, I'm actually kind of here to defend him a little bit. And what I believe that he said was we shouldn't take any more refugees and the plan thing should halt and stop. So, about any other particular words or statements that he said or made, I feel that way. So obviously, he's talking, if he's not talking to me, somebody who thinks that way in particular, then he is reaching out around to express my opinion that he obviously feels now. It's the same thing. So there is two kinds of, how many kinds of Christians do you think there are in the world? I think there's an evil Christian. I think there's a good Christian. Do you think that there's a Christian out to convert every human being? Do you think that there's a Christian that's ready to condemn and execute people if they're not ready to get converted here? You know, because holy moly, we have to take this thing to a whole new level. So, who are the terrorists and the people in particular who are demonstrating a specific pathetic way to, I don't know what they're trying to do, bring glory on themselves. Is it the last one? Obviously, they must have thought that they were with jihads or some kind of cult. But where do they really come from? And it's interesting. They were showing that they had a lead or something indicating that the people were funded. So we have funded terrorists. Of course, we knew that was going on. I just wanted to know, in particular, all of these people that commit these heinous acts in society. I want to know, maybe not, if how affected they are by President Obama's presidency, if it maybe made them lose their job or something else irrational that they have their behavior over him doing that, making our country suck, or if he actually funded them like a refugee or some person coming from some other country. Did uh, President Obama pay somehow these people's way or make it possible for them to come and do what they did? So all I'm saying is I agree that the Muslims are striking in all different places in the world. But they're trying to dominate or show a different show kind of a we're gonna take you all on kind of a position these guys are having. So two kinds of Muslims. There are Muslims that want to kill you, and then there's Muslims that want to convert you. So I don't know. You get one mixed up with the other one. The one who wants to kill you is going to kill you regardless if you've been converted or not. So um, and they only mean to kill us. So it's just to no ends, and I don't know how that goes, and it makes me start thinking of unrehabilitated people, certain behaviors that people show. I don't know what you have to do if there's something going on in somebody's life in particular that has to be addressed to get somebody back down to earth here, because they're obviously not grounded, and it makes me wonder and question the ability to rehabilitate certain people. And people might be thinking like, well, does that? I'm not thinking of extermination at all. I wasn't. I wasn't thinking of just killing the person. I wasn't. So if that's what you think, I was thinking of just to kill that person who is unrehabilitated. I wasn't thinking that. But it only leads me to the question, do you just kill him? That's all I could think is, what do you do? What do you do with the person that is unrehabilitatable? But I am in favor of Christianity and do believe that's the true religion. So, and for that, the reason for that is, I think it was Saul. Saul, the story of Saul in the Bible in particular, makes me really have to extend my thought out a little bit more in the more rapid, deep, kind of turbulent type of thought out there. If a person can or cannot be rehabilitated, and I get Saul from the Bible, and that makes me think that people can be changed. So truly, whether they are a terrorist or some they were gonna do something horrific, I think that there is a way that you can change that. But I support I support Trump and what he said and all that he said. I don't know who I'm gonna vote for yet, but I support basically everything that the guy has said so far. There's a few things that I don't like I said before, and that was that the cockiness from the guy. But he has more of a right to be cocky than I do. I don't have as much of a right to be as cocky as Trump does, because obviously, if you make that much money and you're in that position, and people cannot really say that you're a villain. I haven't ever really heard anybody say Trump was a villain by how he made his money. But there's a lot of people that are really questioning a lot of things and just wondering what's really going on here. So I just have to take a firm stance on this thing, and I think that it is out of line, and it's right in sync with the Democrats and what they want to do with taking our free speech away from us. If you want to go and tell Trump that he's gone too far, you need to be a little politically correct. You can't be as salty as you are. You have to be, you know, you have to be part of. It makes me think like part of this hip political politician crowd. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't matter where you come from. You're not gonna fit in because you're not a politician. Like the what's that one show where they're talking about the Stepford Wives? Here's a Republican. Here's Paul Ryan. Paul Ryan's the Stepford wife for the Republican Party coming out there saying, "Oh, you can't. You got to be a little bit politically correct. You can't. You can't possibly say all those things." In the meanwhile, the reason why I say a lot of the shit that I do, swear words included, is because of my freedom of speech. I've been, I don't know if you noticed or not, but you can look through my videos here, and I explained I've been to jail before. Did 10 days in bullshit ass jail in Roseburg, Oregon, for saying fuck. So I don't know if people are truly aware of that or not, but it's the truth, and I think that's pretty damn lame, seeing as how everybody out here says fuck. So thanks. Done. I'm giving you a love salute. Brr.